We hope that you enjoy our children's book, Architecture, Nature, and Flow. We were inspired by Zaha Hadid and Piet Oudolf because both were architectural designers who created works inspired by nature and flow. We found their different approaches to representing nature endearing, complex, and worth shining a light on. Our choice in aesthetics for the book represents the intersection of the two architects' styles. We decided to create an ebook using InVision because we wanted our book to be easily accessible and shareable with broader communities, especially during this epidemic. Enjoy! Architecture, Nature, and Flow, A Story of Piet Oudolf and Zaha Hadid by Galen Liu and Michaela Watson. This book is dedicated to the memory of Zaha Hadid, a female innovator and icon, as well as Piet Oudolf, who reminds us to think symbiotically with nature. Piet Oudolf is an influential Dutch garden designer. He was born in 1944 in the Netherlands. He is the leading figure of the New Perennial movement and practices a naturalistic approach to gardening. Taking a cue from architectural design, Oudolf prioritizes the seasonal life cycle of a plant over decorative considerations like flower or color. Some of his most famous designs include the New York City High Line, as well as influence and design of Battery Park. Durslade Farm is a 1776 farmhouse in Somerset Hills, New Jersey, transformed by architect Louis Laplace and Piet to be reestablished as an art gallery. It is described as the cleanest farmyard you could imagine. Zaha Hadid was born on October 31, 1950, in Baghdad, Iraq. She studied mathematics and later moved to London to study architecture. Hadid won many awards and prizes, and she was the first woman to win the Pritzker Architecture Prize in 2004. Hadid made all types of structures from large buildings to Olympic stadiums, each with natural curves and organic shapes. She even picked up the name, the Queen of the Curve. This is the Heydar Aliyev Center built in 2007 in Baku, Azerbaijan. Hadid was chosen as architect after winning their competition. It was designed to appear as a fluid form emerging from the rest of the landscape. One day, Zaha and Piet were asked to collaborate on a piece that could demonstrate the beauty of the natural as well as the beauty of the flow. But how could two great minds collaborate on such an important project? Piet wanted to use nature as a natural element in representing the natural and the flow. Hadid wanted to represent her definition of the natural through her style of curves and flow. So they decided to visit each other's projects to get a sense of where they were coming from. Piet had discovered that Hadid put together beautifully an experience of natural flow through her use of curves and flexibility, something that he had always longed for in his work. Hadid visited one of Piet's projects and found that his use of the natural vegetation of the environment enhanced her experience with the architecture. After coming back from their visits, Hadid and Piet decided to compromise. They developed a respect for each other's perspectives, and they decided to incorporate both of their styles. One wasn't better than the other, just different. Together they thought of a museum they would create, one that flowed, one that was natural to interact with, one that curved, and one that involved the natural elements of the environment. The two artists were astounded with the work they had created and were so happy to have created something that they both agreed embodied the natural and the flow of architecture. They were also very excited to learn more about each other's approaches to design so they themselves could grow as artists and visionaries. Architecture starts when you carefully put two bricks together, then it begins. Miles van der Rohe.